this point, I'm sure we've all seen the content that's been pouring out into the world because of meta glasses. I mean, they're a cool concept, and I'd have no objection to them if they weren't used for a lot of BS. I also recognize how they're used for a lot of wholesome content, so I guess it is one of those situations where you acknowledge that there are two sides to the coin. Despite how I've always felt about Zuckerberg's hottest new product, I have to say that I'm firmly on the side of meta glasses because they basically saved my life. I've, 36 male, been dating Tina, 34 female, for 4 years. I tried dating when I was younger, and it was just one failure after another. Too many heartbreaks for me to take, so I pretty much signed off the dating game for some time because it was high effort and very low reward. There was no point to it. If you've ever watched 500 Days of Summer, you know that when someone comes along who is different enough that they change your mind, you just accept it. That was what it was like when I met Tina. I didn't want to get involved with anyone, but she was so special that I decided to abandon all the rules that I had set for myself. For the last few years, I've seen this woman as the person that I'm going to get married to. That's not going to happen anymore, and that's fine. But this time, for real, I don't think I'm going to bother with dating. I'm way too old to be worrying about women when I can be worrying about getting my crap together. Depending on who you ask, I caught Tina cheating on me. Some people will say it doesn't count as cheating, and I'd love to know what you all think once I explain the entire situation. Someone who I went to college with, and who I'm pretty cool with, sent me a video on Instagram. Me and this guy follow each other on Instagram. We barely talk, but I like to think that we're still both pretty cool with each other. He sees the stories that I post that have Tina in them, and over the years, I've probably posted hundreds of them. So anyone who follows me knows what she looks like. The video that he sent me was the typical kind of point of view content, and the message that added when he said it was, "Am I seeing wrong? Isn't this your girl?" When I watched it, I saw that it was one of those weird videos where a guy approaches a girl to flirt and ask for their numbers, but they're unaware that they're being recorded the entire time. Yes, I know that there's nothing wrong with recording people in public, at least legally, but I've never liked those videos. I like them more now, that's for sure. When the girl showed up in this video, it was very clearly my girlfriend. I felt like my friend just sent it because he happened to see Tina in the video. I expected her to do the whole, "I have a boyfriend" thing and get away from this guy as soon as possible, since it was so clear that he was flirting with her. But nope, that would have been the best case scenario for me. Instead, I watched her as she said her name, shook his hand, and started smiling all sheepishly when he complimented her. I think women who are in relationships need to be the ones to quickly establish boundaries, set up that wall so that the other person can quit their pursuit and move on to the next person. But she didn't mention me once. She kept smiling as he told her how pretty her eyes were, as he made her do a 360, and he asked her for her number, saying that they needed to hang out sometime. She just went along with the entire thing. She even flirted back with him. She was being way too nice and friendly with him, and it was evident that she liked him back. I didn't even mention that he asked her if she had a boyfriend, and this witch said that she didn't. I was glad that I was alone when I was watching the video because I would have lost my head if someone was around. I was pacing around the room I was in. I was struggling to keep my head straight because that was the last thing I expected to see on such a basic day. To me, it's cheating. There's no way around it. Some people think that it can only be cheating if they sleep together or make out or talk dirty, but I don't agree. I think anything that breaks that loyalty that you're meant to have towards the other person is cheating. If she has the chance, she'll meet up with this guy and sleep with him. That's if it hasn't happened already. There's no way for me to know that. Even if you don't want to hit it with the cheating label, you're going to agree with me that it is worth breaking up over. I'm not married to her and I can't trust her anymore. I'd be a fool to go any further with her. That'd be like the stupidest thing I could possibly do. I confirmed to my friend that it was her. He said a few words to try and console me, but this isn't the kind of thing you can easily bounce back from. It's a very crappy thing to have to contend with when it looked like everything was going pretty sweet for you. I won't say that the video went viral, but it did well. I'm really wondering how many people I know or she knows who might have seen the video before now. I'm so ashamed. I feel like the village jester because all my business is out there in the world, and it does not make me look flattering because now everyone knows I'm dating a whore of a woman who struggles to be faithful. Jumping back into the dating pool certainly wasn't worth it for me by any measure. I enjoyed the time in the relationships before I found out that she was a cheater, but none of that means anything anymore. I've been playing the video over and over in my head. It's stupid, but I've tried to make excuses for her. I've tried to explain away the situation, but she was so down with it. I wish she had shown even a drop of resistance or hesitation so I'd be able to give her the benefit of the doubt. He must have looked very rich or very handsome because she rolled over like a dog. Very sad I'm going to start getting prepared for a life as a bachelor because I really can't trust these women anymore. You're fighting an uphill battle as a man when it comes to romance. You have to chase them and make them like you and spend on them, But a woman can just pick the next best guy who comes along without a drop of effort. F her. Update 1. This is going to be something of a mini update. I haven't done anything major yet, but I know what I'm going to do. I just need to know if it is a good idea and if I can somehow get into any kind of legal trouble for this. I don't think so, but I don't like prison orange, so I prefer to be safer than sorry. My plan is simple. I know so many people in her life. I know aunts and uncles, I know cousins, nieces, and nephews. Obviously, I know her entire nuclear family. I even know some of her coworkers that I've met a few times. She's really crazy about being perceived as a good, sweet person. I want to ruin that. The video was posted online, and the good thing is that it isn't explicit in any kind of way. There shouldn't be a restriction when it comes to me sharing this anywhere, right? It's the equivalent of me sending people a video that I find really funny, right? Because I'm about to make sure that everyone in her life sees her for the person that she really is. She's vocal about our relationship. She posts us even more than I do, so I won't have to do much with the video. Most people will see exactly why it is such a problem. The reason I hate planning confrontations is because it messes with my mental health. I hate that it is something that I have to do in the first place. I can't help it because I didn't have a say in it. I've spoken to a therapist and it helped me out quite a bit. I was able to find a healthy direction, to voice all of the issues that I have, and I was able to hear a lot of healthy feedback as to how I can handle things. The therapist was on the side of me being the bigger person, but I think that's the one bit of advice that they gave me that I'm not going to follow. I won't gain anything from being the bigger person, and in 10 years, I'll just beat myself up for being the coward who couldn't pull the trigger and make sure that she tasted the consequences of her actions. If I feel any kind of guilt, I'll head back to the therapist. More business for him, I suppose. I'll be reading the comments to see what you all think. Edit. No legal issues in sight. Gotcha. I'm happy to see that so many people are in support of my plan. It's not too extreme. It's just the right amount of punishment for her. I'm simply exposing the kind of person that she is, and that's not horrible. If you're a good person, you shouldn't mind everyone seeing your true character. Also, I won't bother responding to that one person who says that I'm acting like a child. What are you even doing reading posts in a place like this if you're such a big supporter of cheating and infidelity? I'm sure there are places you'll find people like you. This isn't one of them. Update 2. This has been messier than Britney in the late 2000s. Sorry if there are any diehard Britney fans reading this. I'm glad that I had mentally prepared myself for everything that was going to happen when I confronted Tina with the video. I did wonder if she might have already seen it. If she had, the most she could do would be to message the guy and tell him to take it down, but since it showed her in an unflattering light, it's not like she could make a big deal of it. She would have to just take her L in silence. Spoiler alert, she had no idea about the video. No fanfare. I just walked up to her, handed her my phone, and played the video. I watched her face change from not understanding what I was showing her to fear and shock as soon as she came into the video. If she had been a good girlfriend, her response would have been, "Oh look, it's me." Instead, her face was saying, "Oh shit, oh shit." She knew what was coming next. She swiped out of the video and handed my phone back to me. She didn't say anything. I asked her why she didn't want to watch the whole video. She claimed she doesn't like that kind of content. That was really funny to me. I realized that I actually didn't need to force her to watch the video. We both knew what happened in the video, and that was all that mattered. I was waiting for her to address the topic and explain herself, but it seemed like the best option in her head was to just stay silent and act like I hadn't even brought up the topic. The choice pissed me off. It reminded me of what a child or a younger teenager would choose to do, as if I was stupid or something. I took her phone out of her hands before she looked at me. I told her, very authoritatively, to explain herself and stop acting like a child. The last part annoyed her. She was asking me how she acted like a child, but I didn't bother answering because I knew she was deflecting. She was looking for any way that she didn't have to face the big elephant sitting in the middle of the room. When she finished yelling, we finally got to the matter at hand. There are different approaches a cheating woman can take. The best one is the kind where they realize they effed up, they acknowledge it, and they apologize. Even in the face of that, I still think no one should take those kinds of girls back. Regardless, I think it is the most sensible and self-respecting approach. That's not the one she took. Instead, she got defensive. She said she knew what was in the video because she remembered that day. She asked me what my point of showing it to her was. I told her that she had cheated on me, and she really chose to hang on to the word cheating. She asked me if I saw them do anything sexual. Apparently, I was stupid for thinking that she had cheated on me. That's the word she used. She said it hadn't been the best thing to do, but it was so far from cheating. Her excuse was that she was older and she had been dating me for a long time. What happened in the video didn't mean that she didn't love me. It was just her wanting to bask in some attention because the guy was younger and it made her feel good to be hit on like that. I'm an attention whore, fine, but what you're not going to do is say that I cheated on you. She told me that she was never going to meet up with the guy. It was all just for fun. I still had her phone, so I asked her whether I'd find messages from him or not. She paused and answered a completely different question like she was confused. I made to unlock her phone and she freaked out. I laughed at that because it answered my question. There was something she didn't want me to see, and it was either messages with this guy or another guy. Maybe even guys plural, if she was starved for that much attention. Either way, it was what I needed to know that there was no hope left in our relationship. I handed her phone back to her and let her know that there wasn't any hope for us. Apart from the stuff in the video, her reaction to me wanting to look through her phone was the biggest red flag. She tried to act tough, like she didn't care. She kept talking about how my reasons for breaking up were stupid. She's typically not the aggressive or foul-mouthed, but I know it just hurt for her to get caught. It hurt her ego, and she was trying to break mine down to make herself feel better. The apartment had always been hers. I moved into it because it was a better place than the place I had lived at before. We split rent and other expenses down the middle, but her name was still the one on the lease. It made it really easy for me to make the decision to pack my things and leave. She didn't try to stop me once, and I'm glad. I was done with the drama at that point. I've been staying at a pal's place while I urgently try and find a place of my own. I really don't like inconveniencing people with my presence, as much as he claims that it is okay if I stick around for longer. She's called me a few times since I've left, but I haven't responded once. I was supposed to set my plan into action immediately, but the confrontation really took a lot from me. It took a lot, but tomorrow is my plan. I only feel more energized to expose her after the way she acted. Update 3. I really outdid myself. I won't lie. I feel a teeny bit bad, just a teeny bit. But every time I remember that she didn't even act like she did anything wrong, I just know she deserves it. The more people who see the video, especially when it comes to people who close to her, the more people who will potentially be able to tell her how her behavior is messed up. That's like an unintended effect, but I'll take it. I don't care about her becoming a better person. I just want her to find herself in a negative place mentally. I'm ready to play that role. I had to type out a little message that explained and summarized the situation to the people who knew nothing about it. I felt the video was self-explanatory, but everyone has their brains rotted by TikTok and the internet, so I chose not to leave anything to chance. I went through my contacts to put together a list of everyone I could send it to. I ended up with 52 people, family, friends, coworkers, and even some people who knew her pretty passively. Some of those people didn't need to be on the list, but there wasn't any harm in it when I thought about it at length. I sent it, and within 2 minutes, which didn't even seem like enough time to watch the full video, I had people responding and calling. I wasn't picking any of the phone calls, but the text messages were either people who couldn't believe what they were watching, people who recognized the weight of the video and were consoling me, or people who took her side. That was the minority. I guess that most of the people who simply didn't respond were the ones who were on her side. The crazy thing is that one of her coworkers told me that he had already seen the video, but he had no idea if he had the right to tell me about it, since we aren't really that close. My phone just kept going off with notifications like for the whole day. At a point, I just stopped responding to them because I didn't know what to say anymore. Of course, in the middle of the entire episode, she tried to call me several times. She messaged me when I didn't answer the phone. She sent me message after message. Apparently, I was a witch. I was allowed to be angry, but the method I had chosen to get back at her was witch crap, according to my ex-girlfriend. The angry messages just kept coming in. I couldn't even think of jokes to make at this point. When I got tired of her messages, I let her know that she had no right to tell me how to react. She had chosen to flirt with a random guy for attention, and if she didn't think it was such a sin, she wasn't supposed to care that I exposed her. She has to deal with people knowing the exact kind of person she is. She started to respond, but I blocked her in the middle of it. I'm surprised she hasn't found another route to yell at me through. She's gotten the message. We're over, and everyone knows exactly why. I was so used to her being a major part of my life that moving on is going to be a little bit tough for me, but I can't help it. I did my best. She didn't. I'm not going to give myself a migraine over her. She's out of my life now, and I think women in general are. I can't deal with this kind of thing ever again. All I can say is that as men, just know your worth. Don't let women gaslight you into sticking with them through horrible situations. I'm glad that I didn't. Yes, the classic, nothing physical happened so I'm innocent routine. The go-to excuse for every attention-seeking cheater in history. And the fact that she had the nerve to gaslight after getting caught, like somehow smiling at someone else or flirting on camera is magically invisible to the moral ledger. You walking away shows more spine than she'll ever have. She wanted boyfriend benefits at home and single girl validation in public, and she only got mad because the internet caught her before she could pretend it never happened. The audacity to flirt on camera, deny you exist, then insult you for calling it cheating. Yeah, okay. If someone smiles, flirts, and lies about being single, is it cheating? Or just proof they're terrible at being human? Thank you for joining us today on Our Space. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Until next time.